Hey, 6th grade. In this next lesson, we're going to take everything we've done with decimals so far, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, and apply those operations to some decimals word problems. So let's take a look at number 1 and read this along with me. A group is hiking through the mountains. They hike 60.2 miles the first day, 48.06 miles the second day, and 68.12 miles the third day. How far did they hike in all? So for this problem, we're being asked to find a total. And anytime you're being asked to find a total in a problem, you know that's going to involve one of two operations. Okay, it's either going to involve addition or multiplication. For this particular problem, we're going to use addition because they hiked different amounts each day. The first day, they hiked 60.2 miles. The second day, they hiked 48.06 miles. And then the last day, they hiked 68.12 miles. So to find the total amount that they hiked, we're just going to take 60.2 plus 48.06 plus 68.12. So I'm going to set that up using vertical addition. Again, remember, addition is where you line up your decimal points. So I'll line everything up like this, and then we'll add, starting in the hundredths place. 0 plus 6 plus 2 is 8. 2 plus 0 plus 1 is 3. 0 plus 8 plus 8 is 16. And then I carry my 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. Plus 4 is 11. Plus 6 is 17. So we get 176.38. Now for a word problem, you always want to include a full sentence in your answer. So we'll say that the answer is, they hiked 176.38 miles, which is our unit, in all. Okay, let's look at number 2. In this problem, it says Martin is keeping track of his spending. He started the month with $168.40 in his account. On the first day, he deposited a check for $450.88, spent $64.03 on groceries, and wrote a check to his cable company for $115.90. How much does he have left in his account at the end of the first day? So for this problem, we're asked to find how much he has left. Usually when you see that phrase in a problem, you know there's going to be some sort of subtraction in the problem. There also might be some addition, which we'll see for this problem, but there's usually going to involve subtraction somewhere in the problem. So let's start back at the very beginning and read that second sentence where it said he started the month with $168.40. So that's our starting amount for this problem, is 168.40. From there, it says that Martin deposited a check for $450.88. Well, depositing a check means you're adding money to your account. So to this 168.40, we're going to add 450.88. The next phrase says that he spent $64.03. When you're spending money, that comes out of your account. So now we're going to subtract 64.03. And then finally, it says he wrote a check to his cable company for $115.90. Writing a check means that money is also coming out of your account, so we're also going to subtract that 115.90. So now I'm going to start working this addition and subtraction one step at a time, starting by adding my 168.40 with my 450.88. And I'm going to do all of my work over here to the side. So 168.40 plus 450.88. Line up my decimal points and I add these together. When I do that, I get 619.28. From there, I'm supposed to subtract 64.03 and then also 115.90. So my next step is going to be to do this subtraction. Subtract 64.03 from my 619.28. So again, I'm going to line up my decimal points in subtraction, just like I do with addition, and do 8 minus 3, which is 5, 2 minus 0, 9 minus 4, and then I'll need to borrow from this 6 to do 11 minus 6, which is 5, and then 5 comes down. So now I have 555.25. And then from that, we'll do the last step, which is subtracting 115.90. So again, I'll do one more subtraction, lining up those decimal points. And so I get an answer of 439.35, which means that Martin has $439.35 left in his account. Okay, moving on to number 3. This problem says that Bonnie worked 38.6 hours last week and earns $11.20 per hour. How much did she earn altogether last week? Well, remember for the first problem, I told you anytime we're trying to find a total, which is what we're trying to find here, that word altogether means we're trying to find a total. It means that you're either going to be adding or you're going to be multiplying. Well, in this case, this is going to be a multiplication problem. And the reason it's a multiplication problem is because we're told that she earns $11.20 per hour. She's earning the same amount each hour from one to the next. $11.20 for the first hour, $11.20 for the next hour. And so because she's earning the same amount per hour, we can use multiplication here to solve this problem. So what we'll do here is we'll take the total number of hours she worked times the amount she gets per hour, and that's going to give us our total amount of money. So how many hours did Bonnie work? Well, she worked 38.6 hours last week. So this will be 38.6 times the amount she earns per hour, which is 11.20. So I'm going to set this up with a multiplication problem. 38.6 times 11.2, and then I'll multiply everything in my first number by 2. So that's going to be a 12, 17, and 7. Then I'll add a 0 and multiply by 1, 6, 8, and 3. And then finally add another 0 and then multiply by 1 again. 6, 8, and 3. If I add those all together, I have 2, 13, 22, 13, and 4. Remember, for multiplication, you count the number of decimal places in your original factors. So I multiplied 38.6 times 11.2, and I see there's 2 decimal places there, so I should have 1 and 2 here in my answer. So my answer is $432.32. So that means that Bonnie earned $432.32. Okay, on the back side we have a couple of other problems. Number 4 says Micah buys 4 video games for $14.99 each and a pair of shoes for $23.50. He hands his cashier a $100 bill. How much change should he receive? And we're assuming there's no tax for this problem. So this problem is going to involve a few operations. The first operation is going to be subtraction, because we see a phrase, how much change. Change means subtraction, and so we know that's going to be here in our problem. To figure out the amount of change, we're going to take the $100 that Micah handed the cashier, and we're going to subtract his total bill. How much did he actually get charged? Well, to find his total bill, we need to look back and see what did he actually buy. Micah bought 2 different types of items. He bought video games, and each video game cost $14.99 each. Because he bought 4 of those, that's a multiplication problem. We need to take 4 times 14.99 to figure out how many video games Micah bought. He also bought a pair of shoes, just one pair, for $23.50. So then we're going to add 23.50 to his total for the shoes. So this problem is going to involve 3 operations. It's going to involve subtraction, which we'll do at the very end, multiplication, and addition. So let's go ahead and let's start with the multiplication. Since we know he bought 4 video games and they were each the same price, we'll do 14.99 times 4. When I multiply those numbers, I get 59.96. So that means on video games alone, Micah spent $59.96. Now I need to add in the cost for the shoes. So we'll add $23.50 for the shoes. Since we're adding, we want to line up the decimal points. So I get 6, 14, 13, and 8. So that means that Micah spent a total of $83.46 on video games and shoes. Now to answer the question, how much change, we need to subtract that from what he handed the cashier, which was 100. So now we're going to do a subtraction problem, 100 minus 83.46. Since we're taking a whole number minus a decimal, I need to include a decimal point in my whole number so that I can line up my decimal points. So this will be 100.00 minus 83.46. I'll need to do a lot of borrowing in this problem, since I have a lot of zeros up there in my 100. So I'll do 10 minus 6, which is 4, 9 minus 4, which is 5, 9 minus 3, which is 6, and 9 minus 8, which is 1. And so that means that Micah should receive $16.54. Okay, my last problem, number 5, says that Maggie paid $47.25 for 3.5 pounds of shrimp. What is the price of shrimp per pound? This problem is not asking us to find the total. It already gave us a total. It says that Maggie paid $47.25. What we're asked to find is we're asked to find the price per 1 pound of shrimp. And so that means this is going to be the opposite of what we did in problem 3. This is going to be a division problem. So we need to divide the total amount that Maggie paid by the number of pounds that she bought. And that will give us the price per pound. So the total amount that Maggie paid was $47.25, and then we're going to divide that by the number of pounds that she bought, and she bought 3.5 pounds of shrimp. So this is going to be the division problem, 47.25 divided by 3.5. So I'll set up a long division house for this problem. We know in long division we need to move our decimal point in the divisor until we get a whole number. So I'll do the same thing now in my dividend. And now I'll start dividing. 35 into 47, that will go in one whole time. 1 times 35 is 35. I subtract and I get 12. And now I'll bring down my 2 and we'll repeat. 35 will go into 122 3 whole times. 3 times 35, off out here to the side if we need to, is 105. So we'll subtract 105, and we get 17, and we'll bring down 5. And now 35 will go into 175 5 whole times. 35 times 5 is exactly 175. And so if we subtract there, we can see that we're done. And then we see that our answer is 13.5. Since this has to do with money, we need to add the extra penny on there. This is the same as 13.50. And we'll say that the price per pound is $13.50. Okay, it's really important, 6th grade, that you write down any questions you had over this video, because that's what we'll talk about the next time you're in class, and then we'll spend a couple of days practicing word problems with each of these operations. Until we see you again, have a nice day. You're all wonderful people. Take care.